Thanks for coming today. Our topic today is going to be, we're going to learn about artificial intelligence, or AI. First, a little bio about myself. I'm known as the PC guy because I had the license plate, the PC guy. I'm the son of John Kreuzer here at Carondelet. John's in back and the St. John sweater there. I retired after 40 years with 3M in their information technology area. I retired 10 years ago now. I'm an officer and presenter of the 3M Personal Computing Club for over 48 years, so I continue to be involved with that. At its peak, we had 1,200 members in the club. In fact, I gave this presentation at 11:30 to 12:30 today to that group. I mentioned I'm thrifty, not cheap, so if there's an inexpensive or a lower cost solution to a problem, I usually gravitate towards that. I'll mention here that myself, along with Tom Strum, we do free tech help. These are, you can sign up for a 30-minute time slot, and I do it 1 to 3 p.m. on the first and the third Mondays. And Tom Strum does it from 2:30 to 4:30 on the second and the fourth Wednesday. And if you want to sign up, you can stop down at the front desk or call star 5000. Our next topic in May will be on how to buy a printer. And I'll talk about the true cost of the inkjet cartridges that you buy and how expensive they can be, and maybe a laser printer or a tank printer. There's other options for the printers than just the cartridges now. We'll talk about inkjet, laserjet, and where to buy. Along with my dad and my brother-in-law who's in the back there, we do usually every 2 months a Fix-It clinic, and the next Fix-It will be May 26th. So if you have anything that's broke, you can bring it. And we'll even answer tech questions if you think it might be able to be answered in 15 minutes. We have 15-minute slots there. This is where I point you out to the Carondelet website, but they've now decommissioned that website. So there is a new website, and it's listed on the back of the handout, the handout there. There's a QR code that you can scan if you have a smartphone or that, or you can type in the address and go out. And out there I have the past meeting recordings and handouts. I also have links to past presentations there. You can also get to this site by going through Wellzesta. If you go to Wellzesta, Resources, Concierge, and then Learn About, there's a link there also. Okay, let's get to our main topic, which is artificial intelligence. This is a little example of artificial intelligence. I saw an article that talked about make yourself into an action figure. So I uploaded a photo of myself standing. And this is actually my clothes, my logo there. I uploaded it, and then I told it what I wanted it to say up above and what accessories I wanted. Well, I wanted a USB drive, I wanted a laptop, and a hammer. Because a good technician always has a hammer to encourage things to change there. Okay, let's get into artificial intelligence. It has surged into nearly every corner of modern life over the last 3 years. You've seen it advertised on TV, you've seen it in the news, you've seen it all over. In fact, in 2025, it was Time's Person of the Year. So artificial intelligence was the Person of the Year, and even most of the ads in the Super Bowl this last year were either ads for artificial intelligence companies, or the ads themselves were made using artificial intelligence. In just the past few months, AI has helped humans communicate with whales, cracked a 30-year-old unsolved math problem, accelerated lab discoveries, produced a viral #1 country hit, designed new drugs, and outperformed long-standing hurricane prediction, the weather models. Individuals like us rely on it, companies depend on it, and nations are racing to build it because the winners stand to gain trillions of dollars and major advantages. AI isn't without its friction. Its enormous energy demands put a strain on global resources. Jobs are shifting or disappearing, and misinformation spreads faster than ever. Public sentiment reflects this tension. An NBC poll recently found that AI to be one of the least liked things in America, with only 26% viewing AI positively. It ranked even lower than ICE. So people aren't afraid to have an opinion, and a lot of them don't look positively on AI. Okay, let's first do a little definition of what AI is. And AI was first defined in 1956. So it's not a new concept, but it's a concept that is attempting to make computers think and act based on the best available data. It requires three things to have artificial intelligence. You need a computer, you need data, and you need algorithms. And algorithms are the code or the models that take this data that the computer then gives you information back. Today we have massive computing power, so that's a good thing for AI. We have an internet full of data, and where we don't have existing data, we have complex sensors to learn from. So as an example, you have a self-driving car. Well, a self-driving car uses AI, but it's getting its data from the cameras in the car and the sensors in the car and looking at the road and understanding all of those things to steer the car, to brake at a stop sign. It has all that data to deal with. And in addition to the data and the computers, we have thousands of companies that are writing algorithms to process this data. And I mention here an example of the computing power in an Apple. The latest Apple iMac computers have a CPU in there. That CPU has 30 billion transistors. And I think most of you are old enough, or older than me certainly. In the early 60s, I got a transistor radio, and that had 3 transistors in it. Now you have a computer that in the size, not much bigger than a hair there, you have a CPU that has 30 billion transistors in there. And with all that computing power, that's where some of these AI things can be enhanced. Yes? CPU is the central processing unit. It's the brains of the computer. So it's the thing that does all the computations and things like that. Yep. Oh, no, you're welcome. We'll define some of the artificial intelligence terms, because these are some terms that I'm sure you've heard in the newspapers or on the news, or if you've seen any information. These are terms that come up and they can be very confusing to people. So the first one is something called a large language model, or LLM. It's a neural network that is fed tons of data to spot patterns and predict what should come next in a sequence. Reinforcement learning then is used to strengthen and turn it into a simple word predictor into a digital assistant. AI's capabilities remain far from the human mind, but tremendous progress has been made so far in these LLMs. Another thing that you've probably heard of is machine learning. Machine learning is where the machine learns patterns from data rather than being explicitly programmed step by step of what to do. An example of that is if you've ever seen a Roomba vacuum cleaner that'll go around your apartment or around the house vacuuming. Well, somebody didn't sit down and program in, you have a coffee table here, and you have a couch here, and you have a chair here. The device just goes out, and when it bumps into something, it uses that data to learn where to go and where not to go. And then next time, it won't run into the couch or it won't run into the table. So that's machine learning. The machine, somebody didn't have to sit down and tell it, do this, go here, do that. Okay, another term that you've seen, it's called deep learning. So it's a branch of machine learning that figures things out by being shown lots of examples. So an example of that is, I want to teach a computer how to recognize a dog. So to recognize a dog, I show the computer 1,000 pictures of a dog. And just like a child, or just like anyone's mind, it looks at that and it notices patterns. Dogs have fur on them. Dogs have ears on them. Dogs have noses. Dogs have shapes, different sizes, and all these different patterns there. Eventually, after seeing enough pictures, you can show it a picture of a brand new dog or that, and it'll say, that's a dog, because it knows, oh, there's 4 legs, it has ears, it has fur, that's a dog. So it learned all of that on its own just by being shown thousands of pictures there. Okay, the next terms that you see in AI are analytics. They call them analytics, and they start at this first level called descriptive analytics. And descriptive analytics are what happened in the past. So it's very good at summarizing past data to clearly show what has already happened, whether it's using statistics or charts or dashboards or reports. It's the foundation for all other analytics because it turns raw data into an understandable picture of past performances. And a simple example of that is I'm learning how to, I'm helping somebody spell the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Well, once you start typing super, there aren't too many words that begin with super, so it can summarize or know what's next there just by what you typed in previously. Okay, the next level is what's called diagnostic analytics. It's why did it happen? Why did something happen? It uses historical data to uncover root causes, patterns, and relationships of that data. The next level is called predictive analytics. What might happen? Uses large amounts of past data to identify patterns like how customers behave, how machines fail, or how diseases progress. It then uses these patterns to estimate future events. An example is if you do a web search, that's using predictive analytics, what you might want to look at or what information you're looking for. Also, you see it if you go out to Amazon and Amazon recommends products. Well, based on your past purchases and what you viewed, it's using that information to predict what you might want, what they can try and sell you there. You also see it in voice assistants and in customer service chatbots. Okay, another form of analytics is what's called prescriptive analytics. What should we do? So this is where you take all the data and all the diagnostic analytics and all these different things, and now you're taking it to the next step by saying, what's going to happen in the future? So it's going to recommend the best action to take after analyzing what's happened, the descriptive analytics, what's likely to happen, predictive analytics, and it uses data, simulations, optimizations, machine learning to guide decisions towards the most effective outcome. This approach is the most advanced stage of analytics because it moves beyond prediction to actionable guidance to solve questions or problems. Okay, a few more definition things in AI. What's the difference between an internet search and an AI interaction? So I'm sure in the past you've all done Google searches or searched on the internet, and people will ask me, well, what's the difference? Isn't that always been artificial intelligence? And not really, because a search in the older days, a search provides links to web pages or images or videos or other content that's relevant to your search words that you use. You're then left to explore them on your own, going to that site, reading an article. Let's say it's an article from the Mayo Clinic. It's pulling up that information. You go and look at it and check and see if that information is for you. If not, you then go to another site and look up other information there. But you're looking at one site at a time, or one chunk of information at a time. AI, on the other hand, is different than a search. It provides a conversation with follow-up questions, remembers the context. So if you have been using an AI, it has figured out if you're male or female, your age, your likes, your dislikes. It has all that context to help you do better searches and find information that is specific to you. It also provides personalized responses based on an ongoing dialogue back and forth between you and the AI. It summarizes content from multiple sources, so it's not just providing a link to a site where you read an article or that. It's summarizing that stuff for you. It'll generate creative ideas for you. It can provide writing assistance and much, much more. AI can help you not only find, but also understand and utilize information more effectively. AI for me is much faster and better to find answers than just a search. It's handy to be able to learn about a specific topic from one information interface. So if I want more detail or I understand this concept, I don't have to read an article that has the basics in there. But if I don't understand the basics, I can just say, I don't understand XYZ, and it'll explain what XYZ is. I use it for both quick answers to questions and in-depth research. Since AI has been available in its current form, Google search traffic to these sites like Mayo and stuff like that has dropped over 38% because you no longer have to go out to the site. And it can be much faster because in the old days, you used to have to click on a link, you'd be taken out there, you'd scroll down and you'd start reading and things like that. Now I can just converse with the AI and get an answer literally, usually in minutes, instead of it maybe taking tens of minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes to go through different sites there. What is AI? Continuing on, to become good at a task, we humans spend our entire life going to schools, reading books, apprenticing, interning, and much, much more to learn. That's the way we learn. That's the way we put knowledge into our brain. An AI can acquire more advanced subject knowledge, it can respond in seconds, and it can do it for free or a fraction of the cost of what it would cost to have a human being answer the questions. AI today is far from perfect. It makes errors and sometimes spits out baffling results. So just like you ask a question of a friend, or let's say you were in college and you asked a professor, you probably will get a good answer, but you may get the wrong answer because the professor doesn't know. AI does not have to be perfect to be useful. It just has to provide a better solution than what it's replacing. So if we talk about, I mentioned like self-driving cars, well, I'll have people that say, I'm not trusting a self-driving car because I heard a person, it ran into a person, or a person was killed in the car because there was an accident. And yes, there are accidents in self-driving cars. They aren't perfect, but 50,000 people a year in the United States die in an automobile accident by cars driven by humans. Humans make accidents all the time, especially when they're on their phone or distracted. Well, self-driving car isn't distracted in the same way. So what we want with these self-driving cars is that they're better, more cautious, more safety procedures built in there. And that's what can make them very useful, even though they aren't perfect. They don't have to be perfect. Over time, these computers and the AI will learn from its mistake and improve. So what we're seeing today with AI is just the early stages, and things are only going to get better there. Okay, so that's kind of some definitions and some background. Next, let's talk about what can AI do for you. And I've broken it down into these different categories of what AI can do for you today, or what it's doing for you today in the background of a lot of things there. Well, the first thing, the first major category that AI can do is it can understand information. It can see, it can hear, and it can read massive amounts of data and extract meaning from that. And examples of that are text. So if you are using your email package, depending on the email package you use, it's providing summaries, translations, and consolidating emails automatically for you, or your text messages, and it's suggesting a reply of this or a message of this. So it's understanding all this data that is around us and doing stuff. So this is an example, and you probably can't read it because it's too small, but this is an email. So I'm in Gmail, and this is a conversation I had with another member of the 3M Computing Club, and we had sent emails back and forth. And what the Gmail did is it summarized the emails going back and forth, the bullet points of what we talked about, and had stuff, and then it actually has a suggestion for me to reply back. Well, in the past, I would have opened up this email, looked at the thread, had to read through all the different, what he said and what I said, and responded back, and it might have taken me 5 minutes to do it, or 10 minutes to read it. Now I can have it summarized, and I can respond back to him maybe in a minute or 2 minutes, and I've saved myself time there. Okay, another thing it's good at is processing images and video. You probably, I don't know if most of you have, but you have on your phone Google Lens, and Google Lens will use the camera on your phone. I can point it at anything. I can point it at an appliance, and it'll tell me where I can buy it, what it costs. If I want to get the manual for it, I can click and get the manual. All this information just by pointing my phone at things. Or if I'm out beautiful day today. I'm out in the garden and I see a flower and I don't know what it is. I just point my camera or I point my phone at it and it tells me what it is. It tells me how much water it needs or if there's fertilizer. It gives me all this information. Also, you have, if you have home cameras or even the camera on the phones, there's camera events where it's analyzing what's in that camera. Was it somebody, a dog going in front of the camera? Was it a person? Was it a car going by? It can identify all that. TSA screening when you go to the airport. Everybody is going through TSA screening, whether you know it or not. It's looking at your face, going against a database and checking to see if you're on a list. This is much faster and easier than in the old days where you might have had an all-points bulletin to be on the lookout for this person. Well, if you had 1,000 people across the United States, you couldn't have a person looking for those 1,000. So with AI, this is all done automatically there. The Ring cameras have a feature called Find My Pet. So let's say you have a cat and it gets out of the house and you're not sure where the cat went. Well, Ring cameras can talk to each other and it can say the cat is over in your neighbor's backyard and show you that the cat is there. License plate tracking, you can do that. You can upload a photo and you can ask it to redesign a room after telling it your current problems and wants. And so this is a little example here. This is Google Lens here in the middle. Pointed at a plant, and it'll tell you what it is and the different varieties and things like that. It will identify. This is an example of taking a room. So take a picture of a room, a blank room with no furniture in it or anything, and you can tell it, I'm buying a love seat and I'm buying this and I'm buying that. Where should I position it? And it'll position it. You can tell it, I'm going to paint the room, what colors to paint it. You can ask it when it gets near sunset, where should I put the lamps? And it'll tell you where to put the lamps and where stuff is. So it can do all these things automatically. Another thing with understanding information is it can chat. In the past, the only way a person could communicate with a computer is to use a keyboard and then use a display to see what the computer was saying to you, and you'd use the keyboard to talk to the computer. Well, now you can talk. You can just use your voice. You don't need a keyboard, and you don't need a screen. It can do translations. It can do transcription, Zoom, Google Maps, latest version of Google Maps. So you may have used Google Maps in the past to find your directions to a place. Well, now it can go far beyond that. You can ask Google Maps, is there a public tennis court with lights on it that I can play tonight? And it'll tell you. Or you can say, where can I charge my phone while not having to wait in a long line for coffee? And it'll tell you, this one's busy right now. This is where you should go. You can get all that information, and it's all tied together. And this is an example. Again, you can't read all of it, but Zoom is a video conferencing package. I have meetings with people, and I use Zoom, and Zoom can summarize the entire meeting. So it can tell me what was said in the meeting, it can create a list of the action items, and it can give me all the detail. So somebody doesn't have to take minutes anymore. It's all right there and available in there. In fact, if you want, you can buy a ring that you wear on your finger or a little bracelet around your neck, and it has a microphone in there. That microphone talks to your phone, and your phone sends the information up to the internet. It can listen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It can give you a recap of every day, who you met with, who you talked with, what you talked with them about. So it can document your entire life that way. So lots of options that can be done there. Okay, the next category that what AI can do is a category called it can generate new content, or generative AI. It's able to do that faster and more accessible to everyone. So there's writing tools, whether you're writing in a document or an email or a text message or on websites. It can make suggestions, it can summarize content, it can brainstorm, it can convert formats, you can dive deeper into stuff, it can write training manuals, marketing manuals, trend reports in minutes that would have taken a human days to write. This is an example from Apple Pages, their word processor. And the Apple word processor, you can just type what you want or copy stuff from websites. But then if you want to change the tone of that, or you want to summarize that, it can summarize it. It can expand on anything, go into more detail. Just with one click, you can do all these things. And like I say, it used to take days or weeks. Images and artwork can be created in seconds. Used to have to be a graphic artist, or at least have some art capability, or really know a package. Now you can create new or edit photos in seconds that might have taken hours to do. So I don't know how many of you take a lot of photos, but certainly almost all the packages now let you highlight a person by just tapping on it, and you can remove that person, or you can change the background, or you can do things like that. Well, those are functions prior to the AI built into your photo package that might have taken an experienced person hours or days to edit to make that change. Now it can be done just by your command. You don't have to know anything about it. You just tell it what you want done. So this is an example here. This is my dad there. And they wanted a more formal picture of him. And so I found this picture. And but obviously there's my mother is on the side there, and there's windows in the background and things like that. So I had found this article that talked about how to make a really nice picture. And this is the instructions. I talked to the AI, and I said, produce a formal portrait depicting the subject. So I uploaded this photo of him, and I said, depict the subject in a dark navy suit. Use dramatic lighting, background of charcoal, capture the image in a premium editorial style with crisp focus, cinematic depth, and shoot it as if it was an 85 millimeter lens. Ensure extreme detail consistent with a polished corporate portrait and luxury brand aesthetic. This is what it came out with in a second. Now, he claims he doesn't like it, but I said, AI only has so much to work with. But it is nice. If I wanted a red tie, or I wanted a polka dot tie, I could tell it a polka dot tie, and he'd have that. If I wanted to change the lighting to be lighter or darker or that, all I'd have to do is tell it. And the AI is going to generate it. And you can see, the head, it had to take the image of the head and rotate it and light it correctly and things like that, as if it was in a professional studio done there. And again, all done for free, all done just with a couple of commands to tell it what to do. Another thing, talk about generating new content, music and voice. Earlier this year, I think it was in February, the #1 country song in America was an AI-generated song. With just a few commands, no studio, no music studio, no musicians playing guitars or keyboards or anything like that. It was done. So let's go out here.
been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Talk, I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. So and do what I pay, you can get rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking.
Let's stop her there. Let's go back here. Okay, let me do this. So that was like I say, done without a studio, without any artists, no musical instruments, just all done on the computer. And our AI generated that, and if you didn't like a particular lyric, you could tell it to change the lyric. So now anyone can become a songwriter. You can put it in any style that you want. If you want it in jazz or you want it in rock, you can do it in any style that you want. You can mimic any voice that you want. If I wanted it to mimic my voice, all I'd have to do is upload some samples of my voice, and it would sing the song in my voice, and it'd be very, very hard for you to tell that it wasn't me singing. But if you knew me, you'd know that it wasn't me singing, because I don't sing. But that's the power of the AI, can do all this. And then you add to it videos and animation. Well, it's replacing graphic artists and artists. All the artists in Hollywood, if you haven't seen on the news, are very afraid of what AI could replace them. Because I could create a whole movie with Tom Cruise and not pay Tom Cruise. I'd just have his image and likeness. I'd have him sound like Tom Cruise. I'd have him jumping over planes or whatever. I could do all that, and I didn't have a movie set. I didn't pay a director. I didn't do anything there. I just told the AI, generate this for me, and it can generate. Now, there's downsides to this. I mentioned here, deep fakes on Facebook and TikTok. If you've been out there, you've probably seen the majority of the videos out there are fake videos created by AI. So if I want to create a video of me being chased by a bear, I can do that. I don't need a bear. I don't need somebody taking a video. I can just upload a picture of me and I can say, chase me, and put a stream out there and do this and do that, and it'll generate it for me. Okay, another category that it's really good at is solving problems and reasoning. It can break down complex tasks, like helping you make financial decisions. It can explain the options at a high level. But I mentioned here, don't share private data with the AI, and don't have the AI pick stocks. AI is not good at picking stocks because of a thing that we call GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So how do you pick a good stock? Well, a good stock picker, you can look at all these factors that affect stock, but there's nobody that's a good stock picker. You're making decisions. Do I individually pick stocks? Do I go with a mutual fund? What should go on there? And there's risks associated with that. And AI has issues there. It can analyze patterns, so it can recommend similar items and tailor consumer experiences. An example of that would be you can ask it, what can I make from these leftovers? Or these are ingredients that I have in the refrigerator. And if you've got a smart refrigerator that's actually tracking all of your food in the refrigerator, it can tell you what you need, and if you want to prepare a certain meal, what things you're going to have to buy to prepare that meal. So it can look at all those pieces of information. It can make predictions about storms, so hurricanes or a tornado or any of that have gotten much better over the years than what they used to be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Now the predicting, you probably can't see too much here, but this is family members have a NCAA men's basketball pool where you pick the winners of the NCAA tournament. And this year I decided to let AI pick the 32 games to pick the winners there, because obviously it knows everything, so it's probably going to get them all right. Well, wrong. Of the 13 members in the family pool, I ended up 8th, I believe. So even though AI can scour the internet for Duke basketball is on a roll here and is doing this, they still have to play a basketball game. And players miss shots and some players make shots. And one team's going to win and one team's going to lose. And so you can use the massive computing power, you can use the predictive capabilities that it has, and it doesn't guarantee you that it's going to win. That's the way life goes there. But it can be used to support decision making. It can, if you're looking to put together a trip itinerary, you're going on vacation, great for that, because it can recommend a lot of things, and then you say, oh, but I don't like scuba diving, or I can't walk too much. You can tell it that, and it'll adjust the whole itinerary to what your preferences are and what you want to do. If you want beauty and style advice, you can upload a selfie of yourself, then you can ask it what lipstick suits your skin tone, what haircut is best for your face shape, how to accessorize an outfit, or how you will age. It can do all that. And then like how you can age, you can ask it, well, what can I do so I don't look a certain way? And it'll tell you things to do. Maybe it's healthy eating or exercising or things like that. It can set up programs to help you do that. Now, I was a programmer at 3M, and one of the categories that AI is excellent at doing is writing and debugging code. And it can do it faster and more accessible than any human can. It can generate code, it can fix bugs, it can review logic, and it can suggest improvements. Science and research. It's great at science and research because it can analyze data, it can generate hypotheses, it can design experiments, you can discover new drugs. Another category is it can boost productivity in business. Businesses that use it and workers that use it tend to save at least 40 to 60 minutes per day, whether it's reading your emails, text messages, taking minutes, things like that. It's going to save you time. It can automate routine tasks. In fact, Google announced a whole suite of healthcare software products for scheduling your doctor's appointment. So instead of calling the front desk, getting a person and the person pulling out a calendar and looking to see, well, let's see, are you available on Tuesday at 8 a.m. or things like that? This can look at your calendar. If you have Google Calendar, it can look at your calendar. And so you don't even have to talk. It'll find an open slot in there for when the doctor and you are doing things. So it can free up that time. Don't have to have a person on the other end. It can make clinical documentation. So nowadays, I don't know if anyone here has gone into the doctor's office where they record the doctor's visit and then it's automatically summarized by AI. Many doctors and many clinics are now using that instead of handwritten notes on your chart or that. That's not as accurate, and then some of these charts are being sent over to India to have them transcribed into the computer and stuff like that. Well, now you don't have to do any of that. It can handle patient intake, care plans, workout planning, customized meals, staffing, epidemic forecasting, and medical coding. Doctors can now spend less time on paperwork and more time serving patients face to face, and at a lower cost, and we all want a lower cost. It can also help draft, personally, it can help you draft questions for when you're going to see your doctor next, because it can help you translate medical jargon. If you have certain symptoms that you're going to ask the doctor about, it'll help you organize a timeline for those symptoms, and so that when you walk in and talk to the doctor, you're better prepared to share the information in that. It's not a replacement for the doctor. Don't use it as a replacement for the doctor. Use it to help you in your doctor's visits. Another area it's good at is improved customer service. We now have chatbots and voice assistants that save money and are available 7x24. We probably all remember if you were calling the bank and the bank said, sorry, our customer line is closed. It's open 8 a.m. Eastern Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Call back during our normal business hours. Well, now with chatbots, there isn't a person. They can answer a question. They can help you, and they have a much better understanding than even somebody that's worked there, let's say, for 10 years or 20 years. They have more information to be able to answer questions. They can analyze trends and streamline operations. They can interact with the physical world. So we do have mentioned robotics and the Internet of Things. They can navigate environments, manipulate objects, perform repetitive tasks, and do dangerous tasks. Now today we have thousands of smart home devices like lights and thermostats and cameras and cars and watches and smart glasses. All of that is using artificial intelligence. So those are all the great things that it can do, but there are certainly some issues with artificial intelligence. One of the big ones is privacy. The data that you put in there, who sees it and what's being done with that? Is it locally on your device, on your phone, or on your laptop? Is it up on the cloud? Where is it? Who can see the data? Who owns the data that's used to load these models? And if you work for an employer, what are the employer's policies? Because employers don't like some of their confidential data, or let's say you're working in a lab, they don't want what you're doing in the lab getting out to the general public. So there's all these policy issues in that. Another problem that has popped up, and this happened in 2024, the early chatbots, a 16-year-old died by suicide. It formed a deep bond with a chatbot, was talking with it, and eventually committed suicide there. That's where some of this AI needs guardrails, and you need procedures and stuff like that on who can access them, what they can do, and what's going on. And Minnesota lawmakers are currently considering a ban on AI chatbots for minors. This is interesting. One MIT study found that 95% of the companies have zero return on investment for integrating AI. Everybody's doing AI. I mentioned it saves, if I'm an employee, it saves me time, but as an employer, it's also costing me money, computing power and people going to classes or doing things. So right now, there's not a huge return for some of this, and employers haven't figured out how to use the technology, what jobs and what functions it makes most sense for. This is interesting. Beijing and China as a whole there aims for AI to be used in 90% of China's economy by 2030. So hopefully the U.S. doesn't step back and not do anything. If we do, China is going to be so much further ahead of us using AI, getting the benefits of AI. And so as a country and as a nation and companies and individuals, we do have to take advantage of this stuff also. Large AI models already know thousands of times as much as any one person knowledge that it can have. But they're not perfect. They're not as creative as Shakespeare, but they are more creative than the average person, and they're getting better every day. Eventually, they're going to get as creative as Shakespeare, and so everybody would have that capability. Most experts believe that within the next 20 years, AI will become much smarter than humans in almost everything. AI hallucinates. Hallucinations comes up with wrong information or wrong data or a lie. The AI hallucinations are less today, but it still spits out bad facts. You should be verifying those results. Humans aren't perfect, and neither is AI. So what a ride it will be in the next years here with AI. Using AI will make you much more employable and improve your life. You can start with the free versions of AI. So on your laptop, on your phone, anywhere, there's all kinds of Microsoft CoPilot, Google Gemini. There's dozens and hundreds of websites you can go out to generate the photos and to make changes and to summarize things. And you can do it all for free. But as you do more and more things, you may find that you need a more powerful artificial intelligence, or let's say you want to manipulate thousands of photographs. Well, these free versions aren't going to let you do thousands of photographs, so you're going to have to buy tokens, what are called tokens, or pay a monthly fee for services to be able to do some of these functions. But what you can do, if you haven't tried it before, is ask an AI to do something that you don't think it can do, or ask it for an answer that you think is too complicated for it to solve. You'll be amazed and shocked when you get the response back. You can even ask it, what can it do for you? So you can have a conversation with it on, how should I use AI? And maybe it'll say, well, what are your hobbies? What do you do? What's your average day look like? What during the day? Do you spend a lot of time reading emails? Do you create documents? Do you work with spreadsheets? Your financial? Where do you spend your time? What are your hobbies and things like that? So what are your current fascinations and hobbies? Explore them with the AI. The AI is infinite information that's available at your fingertips. Are there topics that have sent you down a rabbit hole? Well, this can help you dig deeper into that rabbit hole or understand that rabbit hole and figure things out, how they all connect together. What have you always wanted to learn but never had the time? Well, the AI can help you. Chatting with the AI can help you. So again, you can create these conversations. Make sure your request, so if you are going to start using an AI, whenever you interact with an AI, you want to memorize this. You want to make your request as clear as possible, put in the context, and have specificity in there. So you want those three things whenever you make a request of AI. So if you ask it a dumb question or don't give it good information, you're not going to get a good answer back because you're just confusing the AI. You want to give it clarity, context, and specificity when you give it. So like when I was manipulating the photo, what did I do? I told it the background. I told it the suit that he had, the color. You tell it, do you want the head turned off to the side? Do you want it him looking back? How do you want it? It's up to you how to identify that and tell the AI what to do. And this is where if you don't tell it exactly what to do, you're going to end up with this GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. You asked a dumb question or you didn't give it enough information, you're going to get a dumb answer back out. So you want to be as specific as possible. Okay, thanks for listening. Questions or comments?
Does it take storage space to use that kind of chatbot?
The question, I'll repeat it for the people on the TV or that watch the video. Does this take storage space to do that? Well, there's so many different AIs. So some of the AIs will run locally. Some of the stuff runs locally on your laptop. Those require laptops with a tremendous amount of space, a very fast CPU, and if you've seen Microsoft now certifies laptops and desktops, and if it says Microsoft Certified CoPilot Plus, that means that the computer has built-in processing for artificial intelligence, to do some artificial intelligence. Same with Apple. Apple, their high-end models have the M5 chip with that 30 billion transistors. Those are built to be able to do, let's say, photographic manipulation in that on your computer. It never has to send it up to the internet and get it back. But even if you have a dumb computer or a not so smart smartphone, then if you don't have the power, it sends it up to the internet, does the function, and sends it back down. So it's just a matter of where the data resides, what you do, and what kind of questions you have there.
It seems to me, though, that there's a lot of risk for plagiarizing. If they're like creating a song, it isn't really original. He's extracting pieces from music that's already been on.
Yeah. The question, I'll repeat it again. It seems like there's the potential of a lot of plagiarism and things like that. And we've kind of always had that, because how many songs are original? Are you borrowing a certain tempo? Are you borrowing lyrics? And, the courts will decide some of that. But in general, as a society, if I step back, my attitude is copying is good. The more creative people get, the more they use these tools. If I've got somebody creating a song who can't sing a lick of a note, but they can sit down and write a lyric and they can produce it. And you can't tell it from somebody who spent thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in a studio with a guitar player and a drummer and things like that. So you're right, though. These are issues that have to be resolved. When artificial intelligence answers a question for you, let's say you ask it, how does the price of gas be affected by the Strait of Hormuz? Well, it comes back and it gives you an explanation there. To get that explanation, it probably consolidated that information from multiple sources, multiple newspapers and things like that. Is the newspaper getting paid for that? Not right now, it's not getting paid. Well, if the newspaper isn't getting paid and the newspaper goes out of business because nobody is there, is there going to be information out there? Where's the information going to come from? Those are questions that I don't have the answer for, and all these things have to be worked out. Okay? Yeah, I'm back. Way in back. You already are connected to AI. If you have a phone or a tablet or a laptop, you already are connected to like if I'm in Microsoft Windows as an example. Microsoft Windows, right down here, here's CoPilot. CoPilot, I click on that. CoPilot is Microsoft's AI. And it comes up there, hey Tom, what's on your mind? You can ask it, you can do things. Okay, reversing a list of events. Okay, I was working on a document, and I had this is a document that I accumulated sentences or paragraphs over 2 or 3 years. And it was sequential there. I didn't have a date on the individual items, but I wanted to have this reversed, so the most recent things were on top instead of on the bottom. I could have gone into that document, and in the old days, I would have copied this and pasted it up on top. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and moved all the things around. Might have taken me 5 minutes, might have taken me 10 minutes to do it, but I could have gotten it done. I went in here, I copied into the clipboard my stuff, pasted it in there and said, change your reverse order. In less than a second, I had them all in reverse order. So if you can think of a problem, it can help you. I guarantee it can help you. You just have to tell it what your problem is, and it can help you and point you in the right direction. So this is CoPilot. CoPilot is built into, if you have a subscription to Microsoft Office 365, it's built into all the packages. As you use the packages, it's popping up all over the place and it's doing things. If you use the Chrome browser, so this is the Chrome browser here, look what's up here. Ask Gemini. Gemini is Google's AI. I can pop it in here. So you can get at all this stuff from all these different places there. Okay, right there, yep.
So it seems astounding that the legislature even receive a request for banning chatbots for minors. It seems like it's way too late.
Yeah, the question was, it seems like the legislature trying to ban chatbots from minors is too late. Well, it's never too late. I won't say that, because again, if you can prevent a death or do things, certainly you should do what you can. Now, unfortunately, and I did this morning because there was a discussion in the earlier presentation I gave, same question came up, and I said, we've got a bunch of idiots at the state level and at the federal level who don't understand this technology and don't understand what's going on. So to make that statement, we're going to ban it for minors. How do you identify a minor? You pop up on the screen before they go into the Microsoft CoPilot, what is your age? And you're counting on the person putting in their correct age? No. How do you verify that? And that's a $1 million question that hasn't been able to be answered. You have Australia banning social media for kids 16 and under. How do you enforce it? What do you have? Police going around, knocking on doors, checking on somebody's smartphone to say, oh, you went out to Facebook. We banned it. What are you going to do? Lock them up for life in prison for going out there? So some of these things have to be worked out, what the guardrails are going to be and how you can enforce some of that stuff. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be laws and there shouldn't be rules, and we do have to protect and things like that where there are problems. Just like, should the newspaper get 3 cents every time information from their news site is used in an AI answer? Probably, but how do we implement that? It costs more to implement it than it would the money that the companies would make. So we have to find solutions to a lot of these answers, and they're unknown, but things will get better as we go along. Okay?
Is AI being invented to robots?
Yeah, AI is not robotics. So robotics are, moving arms or the vacuum that goes around. But in order for that vacuum to go around, there has to be a computer in there, there has to be data in there, and there has to be an algorithm in there. And in that device, it has sensors, or when it bumps into things, it has sensors. And so robotics are using a ton of AI and computing power to do that. Now that computing power like I mentioned, the chip on the Apple, 30 billion transistors. Well, the other thing is, I bought my first computer in about 1983. IBM came out with the IBM PC. That computer cost $8,000 and could barely do anything. Now I can buy a computer, or I've got a watch. This watch on my hand is $19. $19 for this watch. And smart devices and phones. This phone is $125. And it gives me access to the entire world. So the cost of this stuff has come down. The computing power that it can do has come down. And it's only going to get, this phone 5 years from now is going to look like, you know, the oldest thing in the book there, because you're going to have faster, better. I don't need a screen. I can just talk to it. So what size screen do I need? Guess what? I don't even need this phone. Why do I carry around this phone? Because I have to have this screen, and then I may be typing. Well, if you get rid of the typing, if you get rid of the need for the screen, all of a sudden you can just have something with you and you can converse with it. And I don't know if you've seen, there's glasses. Ray-Ban makes glasses, and the glasses themselves have a camera pointed out the front, and they interface with, with a phone there. Such that I could be traveling over in Europe, in France, and as I'm walking down the street and I see a sign up there, it's translating the sign from French to English. When I stop and talk to somebody on the street, I go into a restaurant and I'm making an order there. I can tell it I'd like the steak, medium rare, and say it in French, and it'll play back the French version of that. So these devices, because they're getting faster, because they're getting cheaper and smaller, they can be put in anything. They can connect to the internet and to all these vast resources. So it's almost an unlimited capability. And the capability that we know today is the worst it's ever going to be, because next year it's going to be better and faster and cheaper. And the year after that, it's going to be better and faster and cheaper. And it's going to continue to get better and faster and cheaper. Just think how far we've come. We didn't have these things 15 years ago. Now, most people can't live without them. And 15 years from now, we'll be on to something else. It won't be this form factor, but we'll have more computing power, more capabilities, and your life in general, you know, especially as we all age, we don't remember as much. Well, this can be your memory. Like I said, you can buy a device for $49 that keeps track of everything that happened during your day and summarizes it. And actually, Microsoft Windows, when they were going to introduce Windows 11, had a built-in function into CoPilot where CoPilot would look at your screen in Windows and every 15 seconds take a picture of that screen, analyze that screen, and put that in a database, such that a week from now or 2 weeks from now you could say, I was looking for a weed trimmer 2 weeks ago, and what was the one that I spotted? And it'll say, oh, on this date, on this time, this is what you were looking at. And so that capability actually is in there today. It's not turned on by default, and most people don't want it on by default because they don't want Microsoft or somebody else essentially looking at everything that they're doing there. But that's the type of capabilities that we have with the current technology, and the future technology is going to be that much better and do that much more and do it that much cheaper and do it that much faster. So it's only going to get better. Question? Yep.
I get 50 emails every day that I have to do. I didn't ask for them. I don't want them. I didn't go out and ask for searching for them, but there they are. I could go through each one and say, don't send it, but within 3 weeks, it's back again to the same company. So
Yeah,
it's one way to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's a different subject, but I'll try and answer it in a quick way here. The question was on getting emails and how to get less emails. The first thing you have to determine is who is the email from. Is the email from a legitimate company? So is it from Lunds and Byerly's? Is it from Cobb? Is it from your bank? If it's from one of those, there's usually an unsubscribe. You unsubscribe, you will be unsubscribed, because if they continue to send you emails, you can sue them. And there's people who make a living. You get, I think it's $500 for each email that you get, that if you've told them to take you off the list and they continue to send you an email. What's that? Again, is it from a legitimate company? So if it's from Reader's Digest, unsubscribe from it. If it's from People Magazine, unsubscribe from it. If it's somebody trying to sell you cryptocurrency or a scrupulous hacker, things like that, don't open it. If you open it, if you do view, so if I go here to my inbox and I open this is sending a message back to them saying you opened it. You are going to get hundreds of more emails because you opened it. So the best thing you can do there, if you recognize this is a company that I want to have nothing to do with, you can tell it to immediately delete these so that they never go into your inbox. You can do that. You can so don't open them. If it's a legitimate company, you will not see that. I guarantee 100%. If it's not a legitimate company, so if it's a company that's trying to sell you the next toaster out there, and it's a different email every time, that's not a legitimate company. That's a spammer. That's a spammer. You can't sue them because you can't find a company location. Who are you going to sue? So those types of emails, you never want to open it. And you can tell it, if I mark this up here, I can mark as many of these as I want. I can go here and I can filter. I can filter them so that I never see them. If they say, if you're getting messages for baby strollers and you don't want to see any message. What's that? There's different ways. This method here is not relying on the company taking you off their list. They send you something in the future, it automatically gets deleted, and you don't see it. That's the same way as if you identify it as spam, your email package will automatically put it in a spam, but you have to be careful what you do, because I've had people go in here and I'm going to block this, and then they go, oh, but my brother sent me an email and I didn't get it. Well, your rules and your filters took his email and automatically deleted it. So you have to be careful. But if you manage your email, and unsubscribe from the legitimate ones there and that, I guarantee you should be getting, well, depending on what you subscribe to there, you should only be getting 10, 20 emails a day total. You shouldn't be getting all this other email. And you are the one in control of whether you get it or don't get it. Too many people go in here and open it up. And the minute you open it up, you're telling the spammer that you opened up the email, you will 100% get 100 more emails within the next few days because they know that you're opening up your mail and they sell it to these other spammers. And so that's kind of what's going on with the emails there.
So what you do is filter it?
Filter is one thing. Again, don't filter stuff that is coming. If it's coming from Cub Foods or Lunds, Those are legitimate companies. They have an unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. It can take 2 to 3 weeks for you to stop getting emails from them. But once you unsubscribe, you don't have to unsubscribe again. It should be gone. So unless you go out to their website and subscribe again to get emails, you shouldn't be getting anything from them. And the same as from your bank. From my bank, if I left everything turned on, I might be getting 5 emails a day from my bank. I don't want 5 emails from my bank. I don't want a home mortgage. I don't want this. I don't want that. Go out to their website, and you can usually select what emails you do want and which ones you don't want. And so you can just get the ones that tell you that there's a new statement or that there's been a charge or whatever. So for the legitimate companies, you can reduce the email. For the ones that aren't legitimate, that's where you want to mark them as spam, and then your email package will automatically put them out there, or you can do that filtering and automatically put them out there. Yeah. And it varies from package to package. This is Gmail, and every email package. So if you're using excuse me, Microsoft Hotmail or that, it's a little bit different, but they all have the same capability. And you have the same capability on your smartphone or on your tablet also. But yeah, it's a battle, and the battle, once you do get it down to a manageable set there, certainly your life is a lot easier there. And I've had people, the person that leads the 3M Computing Club, we have a Macintosh computing special interest group, and he's the type of person who doesn't read his emails, and his unread emails, or his inbox, like here, this number here, was over 100,000. And so his response is, if you send me an email, I may or may not see it. Just keep sending it multiple times, or call him or stuff like that, because he just doesn't want to manage his email. And I said, you have to get in front of the problem and tell it which ones are the truly ones that you do read, and unsubscribe from the stuff that you don't. And never open up anything. So again, if you, on this package here, there's a preview pane where it'll preview what's in the email. Well, if you have the preview turned on, that's opening up the email every time you click on an email. So you're telling the spammers, go ahead and send me more, because I'm opening them up and reading, and you're going to get a lot more there. Okay? What's that? To unsubscribe? Actually, it depends on the package. Some of the packages you don't. So it's a case there of, if I wanted to take a couple of these, I could mark a bunch of these. I could go up. Some of them will have an option to unsubscribe right here without even opening it up. So it depends on the package that you're using for filtering and that. So you see all these different options here. So if I just wanted to report this as spam, I just go up to this icon, and you'll see it says report as spam. That is using artificial intelligence actually to look for any new item that comes in from this sender or has this combination of words, and automatically put it in your spam folder. So again, you can use these different tools to help you automatically move the stuff. And what some people will do is, some people will say, I've got such a mess out there, but I'm really most concerned with when I get an email from my brother, being able to find it. Well, that's where you can write a filter or that, and you can say, every time, let's say my brother is James Holman here, I can do a filter here and I can tell it every time. So I can tell it every time a message comes in here and it has these words, put it in this folder, and I can have it automatically put in a folder. And then I just look for my brother's emails in the folder, not in my inbox. So there's so many different ways that you can work with the tools to organize, to do it, but don't let the email control you. You know, if you're getting too many emails and they just continue to come and you just continue to delete them all the time, you're wasting your time, and your time is valuable. And, you should just have to read the stuff that is important to you. Okay? You're welcome. Like the CoPilot brought up that screen. Well, you can type, but you can also just speak to it too. So you can have the chat. So some people say, well, I don't like to do a whole lot of typing, or they have a tablet or a phone. You can do it all with that.